And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we are joined by Leigh Ann Von Hagen, who's the Executive Director of Rutgers Voorhees Transportation Center. She's a state and nationally licensed professional planner with more than 25 years of experience advancing transportation, land use, environmental, and public health planning. We're so excited to have her here today to talk about how active transportation creates connected communities for families. So please, everyone, join me in welcoming Leigh Ann Von Hagen.
Hi, good afternoon. It's just afternoon, so thank you very much. As Echo said, my name's Leigh Ann Von Hagen. I'm the executive director of the Allen M. Voorhees Transportation Center, which is located at Rutgers University, and it's within the Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy. And I really want to thank Advocates for New Jersey Families for inviting me to join you today. And a little bit about VTC. We advance transportation safety, equity, and community well-being through applied research, training, hands-on technical assistance, and more. And like Echo said, today we look at how active transportation helps families thrive by creating healthier, more connected communities. So before we dive in, and Echo, I forgot to see if we wanted to quickly go over this, but we do have a quick poll I would love to get your feedback on. And I don't know, Echo, if you can launch that poll.
Yes, I will launch it right now.
So basically, before we dive in, I'd love to know which of the following transportation initiatives have you heard about? And you can choose all that apply or none of these. So Safer to School, Complete Streets, Vision Zero, or the Safe System Approach. And Echo, I have to rely on you to tell me how the polling's going.
All right, I'm launching it right now. So everyone should see it on their screen.
And I'll give a few seconds for people to answer. And it's okay if you don't know any of these. That's where we're going to discuss a little bit of this today. So how are we doing on answers?
We've got about 15 of the 17 participants, and a couple people do have heard of safe routes to school.
Okay.
13% complete streets. Somebody's heard of that. And then the rest are brand new. Have not heard any.
Okay. That's great because that's what I'm going to dive into. So thank you so much for taking the poll and let's get into it. So you'll notice that throughout this presentation, I'll be using the word crash, not accident. Crashes are preventable. They result from human error and system decisions, not random chance. So when we do call them accidents, sometimes we minimize both the causes and the solutions to those situations. Okay, I want to ground this conversation by
Oh,
sharing a
Leanne,
few.
so
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. The presentation isn't on screen if you want to go ahead and
Oh,
share. I don't think it transferred over.
that's interesting. I wonder if it stopped sharing when we did the poll.
I think so.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me do that right now. Yep. Okay. How's that? Better?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Get back to where I was. Okay, so I'm going to start the conversation by sharing a video where we went to Somerville, New Jersey, and we asked a few of the folks downtown some simple but revealing questions. Starting with, how many crashes do you think occur annually in New Jersey?
I would say 2,000.
100,000.
125,000.
700. 30,000.
That's ridiculous. It's just astronomical.
More than that.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't even close.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Per year. Wow, that's scary.
That's a lot.
Kind of high.
Yeah.
So each year, New Jersey sees roughly around 280,000 vehicle crashes. Now, when we talk about active transportation, the conversation often does center on fatalities, and sadly for good reason. In 2025, more than 30% of the state's road deaths were pedestrians and bicyclists, nearly twice the national average. Yet, those modes receive only a small share of transportation funding, highlighting a clear mismatch between risk and investment. So who is at risk? Well, seniors, low income, and foreign-born residents face greater risk exposure. Nationally, older adults, Black, American Indian, and Alaskan Native individuals, as well as those in low-income communities, have disproportionately higher pedestrian fatality rates. In New Jersey, pedestrian crashes increase as income and vehicle ownership decreases. 30% of fatalities occur in lower income areas. 33% of victims were from lower income areas compared to 10% from higher income areas. And people over 65 make up 17% of New Jersey's population, but account for 27% of pedestrian fatalities. We also know that speed is a life or death factor. If a person is hit at 40 miles per hour, 90% do not survive. At 20 miles per hour, though, 90% do survive. So the essential question becomes, how do we create safe and connected communities for families? To answer that, we'll look at several key transportation programs and how they work together. This diagram shows the core structure of our safety work. At the top is the goal, 0 deaths and serious injuries. Everything we do is anchored in that commitment. On the left is the strategy, the FHWA Safe System Approach. It accepts that people make mistakes and focuses on designing systems where those that make mistakes, they aren't fatal. On the right are the methods that bring the strategy to life. Complete Streets and Safer to School turn safe system and principles into real improvements, safer crossings, slower speeds, and better walking and bicycling conditions for vulnerable road users like children, seniors, and people with disabilities. The connections between the circles matter. Together, they outline a clear path towards safer, healthier, more connected communities. So if you get nothing else from my presentation today, I want you to walk away with 3 main takeaways. Starting with my number 1 takeaway, create a vision. New Jersey has taken a very bold step with what's called the New Jersey Target Zero Commission, which was established to eliminate all traffic deaths and serious injuries by 2040. Okay, let's check in with our Somerville neighbors again. We also asked them, do you think 0 deaths is achievable in New Jersey?
You're never going to eliminate, all death from car accidents. It's just not going to happen. People are going to drive poorly or distracted or drunk, so.
I don't know, it's going to be really tough because a lot of people are not going to really want to pursue that course, I feel like, in a way. You'd have to really, I don't know, I guess advertise it and really pound it into people somehow.
I think 0 is a bit ambitious, but it's a good thing to strive towards because if you say 0, you'll definitely lower things, at least by a decent amount. So
I think 0 is still a little bit ambitious, yeah.
I don't like that question.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely none.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Not one soul.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Can I just say none?
Yeah, of course, obviously.
It needs to be.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It really is.
I appreciate that the video ends with the question, who would you be willing to lose? Because that's what really drives this work. The pain of losing loved ones to something so preventable is what keeps us committed to a 0 death future. So the question becomes, how do we actually get to 0 deaths and serious injuries? Building on that commitment to reach 0, the Target Zero Commission, which is 13-member bodies of state officials, recently adopted the New Jersey Target Zero Action Plan. It's a comprehensive roadmap with over 72 actions, 40 non-legislative and 32 legislative, designed to strengthen policies, improve infrastructure, and support safer behavior across the state. This plan is grounded in the Federal Highway Administration Safe System Approach, which shifts our focus from preventing every collision to preventing fatal and serious outcomes. So what do we mean by a safe system approach? The Federal Highway Administration's approach sets an ethical imperative that no one should die or be seriously injured on roadways. Rather than focusing on changing human behavior and preventing all collisions, the safe system approach refocuses transportation system design and operation on anticipating human error and reducing impact forces to minimize crash severity, which will save lives. So let's compare our traditional approaches to road safety with our modern perspectives. Where we used to treat some level of traffic fatalities as inevitable, we now understand the importance of treating these deaths as not only preventable but unacceptable. Where we used to insist that perfect human behavior was necessary for safe outcomes, we now understand the importance of not only acknowledging that humans have failings, but designing to mitigate for them. Where we used to focus blame on victims as the cause of crashes, we now acknowledge the importance of taking a holistic view that requires people to think about the roadway environment in its entirety, from the design of our infrastructure to the land use decisions of our governments. Instead of just asking, why did that person crash? The new approach examines, why was that person so seriously injured in the crash? This changes this change in focus from collision reduction to injury prevention represents a significant shift from an engineering and enforcement view to one that includes public health perspectives. Okay, let's get to takeaway number 2. Make it safer and more accessible for everyone. So let's return to our framework. 2 major initiatives help communities put the safe system approach into practice: complete streets and safe routes to school. Children need safe, connected networks, not just to get to school, but to reach parks, libraries, friends' houses, and other community destinations. That's why the New Jersey Safe Routes to School vision centers on access to active transportation for all ages, abilities, and from all neighborhoods. And when we build those safe, connected networks, the benefits ripple out quickly. Stronger friendships and social connections, better focus and fewer distractions in the classroom, reduced tardiness and absenteeism, less traffic congestion at arrival and dismissal, more opportunities to learn real-world street safety, and increased daily physical activity. Thinking about it like this, walking just 1 mile each way covers about 2/3 of the recommended daily movement for our kids. So let me go through a Safer to School case study. Imagine you're advocating for safer walking routes for children. Consider an example of school zones. We recently conducted focus groups with New Jersey engineers asking if they'd let an 8-year-old walk unaccompanied in certain New Jersey school zones. The 8-year-old benchmark reflects the 880 cities model. If public spaces are great for both 8-year-olds and 80-year-olds, then they're great for everyone. Some school zones had significant improvements to slow speeds and create safer conditions for walking and bicycling, and others did not. So let's give it a try. Okay, my first question to you, and you can put your comments in chat. Do you think drivers go 25 miles per hour in this school zone? You can answer yes, no, I don't know. You could even just say it to yourself. But just take a quick look at that school zone. This is the outcome of a Safer to School road improvement project. The road has been repaved, the sidewalk in front of the school is new, and several trees were removed. But the key question remains, does the design actually encourage drivers to go 25 miles per hour in a school zone? So please vote again. When we shared these images with engineers, many acknowledged that more should have been done to slow vehicle speed and improve the safety of the school crossings. Installing a sidewalk is important, but it's not a traffic calming measure. It does not reduce motor vehicle speeds. Several engineers noted that a crossing guard would help, but they also recognized a major limitation. With a playground in front of the school, children use this space outside of school hours when crossing guards aren't present. Okay, let's try another school zone. Do you think drivers go 25 miles per hour in this school zone? You may notice there's a flashing 25 mile per hour sign in that picture. This is the after road improvement. A sidewalk was added and the shoulder widened. Again, do you think drivers go 25 miles per hour in the school zone? For this school zone location, we were able to gather some before and after speed data and found that, in fact, speeds increased after the school zone improvement. And here's one more. Do you think drivers go 25 miles per hour in this school zone? This roadway after the improvement project is a little different. Earlier, maybe some of you felt like drivers might go 25 miles per hour in the before photo, but here additional measures were added to slow speeds, including a raised intersection. So I'll take another final vote. Do you think drivers go 25 miles per hour on this road? This school zone is in a municipality that has adopted a Vision Zero policy. And the core part of Vision Zero is continuing evaluating where your most vulnerable road users are and make sure you're making ongoing improvements to protect them. So if you want to make your community safer for walking and bicycling, one of the best places to start is the school zone. Traffic-related crashes remain one of the leading causes of death for children in the US, which makes a school area's safety really an urgent priority. And as we saw in previous examples, though, the minimum isn't enough. A Vision Zero approach keeps asking, did this make it safer for children to walk or bike here? If the answer is no, we try again. That doesn't always mean expensive construction. Sometimes paint, posts, and other temporary materials can make a meaningful difference. Okay, let's talk about the other half of the programs. What do we mean by complete streets? So complete streets are designed for everyone. Complete streets ensure that all users, pedestrians, bicyclists, transit riders, drivers, and people of all ages and abilities can travel safely and comfortably. This is a shift from designing roads to move cars through communities to designing streets that support what happens in communities. Implementing complete streets often asks two questions. Who are you accommodating, and how will you accommodate them safely and comfortably? At its core, Complete Streets is about changing policy. And New Jersey has made real progress. We now have one state policy, 8 county policies, and 183 municipal policies, covering more than half of the state's population. But the quality of those policies do vary, and that's where the next phase of our work begins. To strengthen policy quality, the New Jersey Department of Transportation's Complete and Green Streets for All guide raises the bar for what complete streets should look like in New Jersey. This model policy emphasized that streets work for all modes, all ages, and all abilities. It sharpens the focus on implementation. It integrates green streets and green stormwater infrastructure into complete streets projects, and it prioritizes health, local economies, and fairness in how transportation dollars are spent. Okay, let's get to another part of this topic. A growing part of our transportation system is what's called micromobility, which are e-bikes and e-scooters and other low-speed devices. And as these devices become more common, Complete Streets is evolving to support them. You may have seen that in January of this year, New Jersey passed a new e-bike law that now requires a license, registration with the Motor Vehicle Commission, and in some cases, insurance. So communities are really trying to understand what this means for everyday riders. This new law may have been driven by real safety concerns, especially for youth, but I feel ultimately it may have missed the mark. What we truly need are clear distinctions between low-speed e-bikes capped at 20 miles per hour and higher-powered e-motos or e-motorcycles that can reach 30 miles per hour or more. Right now, these devices are often misunderstood or feared, even though many people rely on them every day to get to work, to get to school, to get groceries and recreation. And those folks genuinely love them and rely on them. I really feel New Jersey's at a critical moment. Can we address safety concerns without adding new financial burdens that cut off access to affordable, low-emission transportation options? And I really feel we have to get this right because the choices we make now will shape mobility and safety for years to come. Another important evolution of Complete Streets is making our streets work for people of all abilities. In 2023, New Jersey passed legislation requiring Complete Streets policies to better support the safety and independence of people with autism and individuals with intellectual and development disabilities. Our VTC 2024 report, Advancing Complete Streets for Neurodivergent Individuals, lays out practical strategies communities can use right now. And one of the clearest examples of why this matter comes from a short video on our YouTube channel where we follow one of our clients on his daily walk to work. It shows in a very real way the challenges people face when streets aren't designed with their needs in mind. Let's follow Marcus on his way to work.
Sometimes I'll walk on the rocks.
Okay, so the sidewalk ends here, right?
Yeah, so I have to walk on the rocks, which I normally do. You see, there is no sidewalk, so we have to walk on the grass.
So if you were traveling with someone who maybe used a wheelchair, could they do this walk with you?
Not a good idea.
So Marcus, this is a kind of a difficult walk. How is it for you? Do you do this every day?
Pretty much. Depends on the weather. Whether it's raining or thunderstorm, I cannot walk. So I took a transportation with NJ Transit bus to get to my job. When it's very sunny and a little bit breezy, I can still walk. Only when the weather is nice.
And do you feel safe walking on this route?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Even with all the cars and everything?
Well, just to be clear, there are some of the cars on the highway, so beware. Do not touch the power lines. Walk around.
So Marcus, how long would you say it takes you to do this walk when you go to work?
It wasn't that even long for me. 17 minutes.
So is this where you take the bus to, Marcus, when you're coming to those?
From Mega Street to here, yes. Okay. And we're almost to Lowe's. Okay, stop. Left, right, left again. It's clear. You can walk. Okay. When we walk past through to McDonald's, we're almost to my job.
Okay, well, if you're anything like me, watching that video is both heartbreaking and hopefully motivating. It's painful to see the risk my friend faces on every single day just to get a job that he absolutely loves. One of the programs we offer at VTC is called NJ Tip, where our travel instructors work one-on-one with clients to help them navigate transit safely and independently, including the walk to and from the bus stop or train station. Okay, this brings me to my third takeaway. Find partners and reach out. Safer streets don't just happen because one agency or one policy. They happen because of partnerships, persistence, and people who care. And the good news is that New Jersey has a strong network of partners ready to help. Two of those key partners are right here at Rutgers Voorhees Transportation Center. The New Jersey Safer to School Resource Center and the New Jersey Bicycle and Pedestrian Resource Center, both funded by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. These centers support communities with research, training, hands-on technical assistance, and even a help desk for questions. Both centers offer monthly newsletters and active social media channels. They're a great way to stay updated on funding opportunities, new initiatives, and best practices for walking, bicycling, and safer to school. Anyone working towards safer, healthier communities should absolutely subscribe. Another important partner is Sustainable Jersey. If you haven't explored their programs and actions, I highly recommend visiting their website. Our Safe Routes to School Resource Center reviews all bicycle and pedestrian related actions for Sustainable Jersey and Sustainable Jersey for Schools. We also run the Safe Routes to School Recognition Program, which aligns with Sustainable Jersey actions. So for example, earning your social level recognition automatically earns you Sustainable Jersey points for the Safe Routes to School action. And if your town is ready to take the next step, you can apply for Complete Streets Technical Assistance. This program, run by Sustainable Jersey and VTC, provide free direct support to help municipalities advance complete streets. Selected towns receive help with tasks like the bicycle corridor or network plan, complete streets conceptual renderings, temporary demonstration project guidance, and walkable community workshops. Another great resource is our network of transportation management associations. New Jersey has 8 TMAs, and each one of the offers free Safe Routes to School support through a dedicated coordinator. They help municipalities and schools create safer walking and bicycling environments. And if your community needs a more comprehensive bicycle or pedestrian plan, New Jersey DOT's Local Technical Assistance Program is another strong option. This program has already supported more than 100 towns, pairing them with on-call engineering consultants who guide the planning process and help improve walking and bicycling conditions. And as you may start to think about projects and funding, another key partner is the New Jersey DOT Local Aid Resource Center. They offer everything from grant applications and handbooks to a dedicated help desk that can walk communities through project planning, grant writing, and project delivery. They're also a great guide for navigating both state and federal funding processes. If you're looking for a starting point for anything grant related, their website is one of the best places to begin. And speaking of support, I want to highlight an upcoming opportunity to learn, connect, and get inspired. The 2026 New Jersey Complete Street Summit will take place on Tuesday, April 21st at the College Avenue Student Center at Rutgers. And the theme this year is Every Journey Safer. This event brings together planners, engineers, public officials, health professionals, and advocates, and really anyone involved in helping shape safer, healthier communities across New Jersey. You'll hear from expert speakers, gain practical tools and strategies, and have time for discussion and networking. This summit is a great place to recharge, learn, and connect with others doing this work. And registration does fill fast, so do not hesitate to register today. Okay, I think I lied about 3 takeaways. I have one more bonus takeaway, and that is what I call hug your planner, or at least thank them. When we work together, we build communities that feel connected, supported, and proud of the places we call home. Good street design doesn't just happen by accident. And look at me, I use the word accident. It takes thoughtful planners, engineers, advocates, and community members who show up again and again. A single crosswalk, a single bicycle rack, a single bike bus or walking school bus can spark cultural shift. The capacity of a street can be measured in cars or people. Personally, I choose people. We are still fighting for design decisions that value human life. We're still pushing for systems that fix conditions, not blame victims. We're still working to ensure that every child can walk or bike to school safely, every older adult can cross the street without fear, and every person, regardless of ability, income, or mode, can move with dignity. So to recap, if nothing else, please remember my 4 takeaways. Create a vision, make it safer for everyone, reach out to partners, and yes, hug your planner or your engineer or your Safe Routes to School coordinator. They're working hard to make your community feel safer, healthier, and more joyful. So thank you. I hope together we will continue to build a transportation system that truly serves everyone. And please feel free to contact me at vtc@ejb.rutgers.edu or visit our website. And I look forward to questions and answers. Thank you.